wrestler, or he's some kind of a, like, put on the suit and wrestle people professionally type person. So he's always working out. He's jacked as hell, and he loves video games, and he talks about it a lot. And I just love it. I haven't seen a lot of what he puts out there. I hope he's a wholesome dude. Xavier. Oh yeah, the other name that he goes by is Austin Creed. I think that's his wrestling name. Austin Creed. Yeah. Some good people, I think. Ooh. Well, here we are again. Back on the hill. Should we sing a hill song? On the hill again. Watching mailboxes go by again. Nipples chafing slightly against the biting wind. I can't wait to get this fucking hill behind me again. Oh, on the hill again. Putting feet down like I really want to go forward. Fast. On the hill again. What the fuck happened to that tire? The rim is kind of off. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Taking steps again. Talking about moving in my shoes, my friend. Walk a mile with me and you might come to find I'm not such a piece of shit, and neither are you. 'Cause we're riding on the hill again. Cresting the top almost, gotta get that wind back in my lungs again. Vocal cords are contorting like a fan. Oh, can't think creatively. I can barely sing to thee. Oh, woe is me. Going down the hill again. Taking a ride as I've done a million times. I don't think I've sung a song that poorly in a long time. But sometimes when you're tromping hills, you just gotta let it fly. Sometimes you gotta let the freak flag fly. I like video games. Not all of them. Not all the time. But there's like 6 or 7 that I really like. A couple of them I'm playing at this point in my days. Yeah. You know, it's what we do. I'm gonna try not to face the camera angle down too much. I just realized that I was really doing that. Angling down a bit too much. The cement is cool, but everything else is cooler. Just out here rolling, guys. Just out here rolling. So I guess we did end up taking the middle circuit, didn't we? I was going to turn back a little bit earlier. Really thought I might have to use the restroom, but here we are. Hey, puppies. Sunday. So I guess that kind of begs the question. Since tomorrow was fast day, hey, my shadow. We got this. We fast on Mondays. Last week I did not do the fast to completion. I was really envisioning incorporating a sleep cycle. Another sleep cycle. Oh yeah, there's the shoulder. Into my practice. Maybe tomorrow's the day. I'll be hungry right about this time tomorrow. And right about this time tomorrow, I'll still have a couple hours of work ahead of me. And then I'll get home. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Yeah. Feeling it. It's one of those true delights to have the sun at that angle, not so low that it's in my eyes, but low enough that it's not that strong. And the wind comes and goes. It's really cool. It's kind of perfect. It's kind of perfect. You can see it. See it? See that wind? Seems like the mic does a pretty good job of canceling wind out. That's what I've noticed. I've heard a lot of, well, like 2 days, I did some research into outdoor mic usage. Like, well, TV reporters have been doing it forever. How the fuck do they do it? Well, people do things like they get really burly screens for their mics to cut external sound. They do a lot of things. But who knew? This old decrepit gaming headset would totally serve me. C'est la vie. Man. I'm putting it out here. Oh, hello. You look free. Oh, there's a cane in there. Welcome, friends. Is that a hammer? That's an axe. I want it. Oh, it's a double bit, isn't it? No. Well, it's funny. The times in my life when oh shit. Hey, come on. I just rotated the camera upright, so hopefully we're all good. Yeah. Hopefully the phone recognizes my hand. And y'all don't have to rotate your TVs or cameras or whatever. God dang, I always make an effort to not rotate my wrist, and therefore the phone in these conditions, these running conditions, because I don't want that to happen, because that has happened before. A couple of these episodes ended up topsy-turvy. I'll tell you what, we'll do an experiment. If I get home and I do the playback and I notice that at this moment, this was when it all went to shit and everything flipped upside down and inside out, then I will consider setting the intention that next time that there's any indication that might have happened in the future, the next time that I get any sense that there's a possibility that I've unduly rotated the screen, any whiff of a sense at all that the picture might have rotated, since there's no way to check from my end of the screen, I will stop the recording, begin a new recording, because I know how to orient the screen correctly from the get-go. I always do like a little check. Damn, there's a lot of loose, sticky gravel. Okay, and then a bit of a pit. There. Boy, we are a little scattered. And we got a car coming up, so we do one of these. Little dip. And they go, and we're all good. Okay. We good? We good. Anyway, yeah. I'll consider setting an intent to stop recording, and start again. If this keeps being an issue. Because better to have a 6-episode hour-and-a-half run than a 3-episode one where 2 of 3 episodes were upside down. Better to have like a 5-minute segment or a 15-minute segment compromised by that annoying breach in things. I could also just become slightly proficient with any video editing interface. That's gotta be among the first things that you learn. I couldn't find a way to do it in YouTube Studio. I couldn't find a way to do it in the editing tool, the video editing tool that's in my phone. But there's gotta be a way. There's gotta be an app or a workshop or a studio or a something. Video editing software that I can download that allows that option in a clear way that's not buried in menus. That's the dream. Hey, remember the motto. Expectations are low. Morale is high. High hopes I got. High hopes I got. Well, you know what I got. Sublime knows what I got. Lovin'. It's what I got. Said remember that. Lovin' is what I got. So what is this, the second most sing-songy podcast episode so far? Hey guys. We haven't been singing the whole time, but we've been singing a fair amount of the time. That's what you do though, man. When you're out on the journey, when you're out in the hills on the adventure, drawing deeply from the cornucopia of endless opportunities and the scary, creepy, infringing constant of the unknown. What do? We build fires, we burn turkey legs, and we sing songs while drawing up maps and going over our skills and our gear. And we tell stories. We talk about people that we love. We talk about times that we're looking forward to. We talk about the road ahead and how we want to avoid this pitfall, but want to explore that dubious but possibly titillating, potential-filled, addle-pating opportunity over there on that side of the map where the sea serpents roam, but also the mermaids. I love my mermaids. Well, apparently I love my phoenix women too, so perhaps I'm a bit more of a furry than I thought that I was. What are you gonna do? We all know Disney. Just twisting generations of us into furry loving fellas of exotic interest. And lasses. Fellas and lasses. And every other identification label that you can muster. I like my Phoenix Valkyrie women. One thing about that game that's kind of fun. I got into... What's the name of that genre? Again, the name of the game is Paladins. Don't play me because I'm not that good. My Valkyrie woman, I played that character quite a bit. And there's 3 or 4 other characters of the 50 that I have a few hours in. There's like a turtle with an anchor and a cannon who's freaking cool. And he's cuddly. His name is Makoa. And there's some other folks too. One of the things about that game is you get these objectives. I remembered as a kid, the game that kind of led up to this strange place that we're in was called Perfect Dark. Different ways to play that game. There was a paintball mode, which you always turned on, so that every bullet you fire out of every gun leaves paintball splotches everywhere in rainbows and stuff, which is way better than the super severe gunfighty, super scary adult destruction fucking gunfighting stuff, you know? Paintball mode was cool. But there were these modes when you would just go out and have at each other. There were other modes where you had to accomplish a goal, like get somewhere, or bring something somewhere. I think there was one where you had to like hold a briefcase, and whoever held the briefcase, like the longest one or something. There was another one called King of the Hill, where you just have to hold a corridor or a room for a period of time. And the longer you stay in there, the more points you get. The person who gets the most points the fastest, to like 40 points or 1,000 or whatever it is, you know, a few minutes of accumulated time, they won. And it was cool because the hill would move every minute or two. I liked that. So you had to be mobile, but you also had to be able to hunker down. So that would change your strategy, the way that you played, the way that the hills that you were okay dying on, and when you thought cutting and running would draw people out and put them in a position to be vulnerable from other people. Do I take a long-range rifle into this thing, or do I loop around the entire map to find the shotgun so I can go in guns blazing? Nobody will expect it. I don't know. Just depends on the game. Anywho, I liked that because objective-based play was a lot different than just the slog of take as many people down as possible right now, which is totally cool. But I'm not always in that mood. If I'm in that mood, that's awesome. What a great time. Let's put some numbers down. But sometimes I want to defeating people can be a means to an end, but you might overinvest yourself in that pursuit, and actually you're losing the war winning all these battles, because you need to be covering this guy and that thing, or employing some other strategy, baiting people and all kinds of things, in order to do the thing that will actually win you the game, not just the glory of the highest head count. I really liked that because it complexified things 1,000 times. And Paladins is in the tradition. You could say that Paladins, after its original alpha phase, when it changed completely, you could say that Paladins completely ripped off the flagship hero gunfight genre, which was a lot like Perfect Dark, except instead of having all these different equipment options and random spawns of weapons and ammo and stuff, or whatever, you instead had characters who themselves were very different from each other and had different capacities and capabilities. But I admit, much as I like that game, it was definitely, and is, a ripoff of another game that's older called Overwatch, which you did have to buy to play. Of course, once you did, you had access to everything, more or less. And in Paladins, I've still only got like 15 of the 50 heroes. But the thing about those games was they really tied into that theme of the doing battle and taking names often being sort of the second priority, with the first priority being to hold the land, or to, in Overwatch, most of the games were about taking over the space next to a small mobile object like a car or something, and that thing would slowly make its way across the map from one end to the other. So maybe a little bit like capture the flag, you could say. liked that though. I like it. And yeah, I really wasn't going anywhere with that. I just kind of wanted to talk more about that game. There's something about that. I'm not an esports guy. I never play quote-unquote ranked matches. There's folks who are really into it. They sink hundreds and thousands of hours into one or two of these games. Become very, very skilled. Some of them retain their senses of humor. I've seen a little bit of that. I've seen mostly not humor so far with the professional people or the people who were just very, very good at that particular game. Anywho, to any of you guys out there who play that game and like Furia and play Furia, viva the shotgun blade. Well, I thought that was the coolest thing ever when she came out. Because that's what it was. It was the... I like things that don't fit evenly. Gunblades are hilarious to me. Ever since the Final Fantasy VIII days, the idea of, yeah, it's a gun, but there's a sword on it. I mean, it's a sword, but there's a gun in it. It's always tickled me. I like it when high tech and low tech mix in a weird way. I really do. So this celestial shotgunning, sword slinging lady was awesome. Oh, that's what I was going to get to. I'm going to end on this point. The cool thing about Furia is that every few minutes, depending on how you're playing, these heroes would have access to a super ability, a special ability that if you use it at the right time, with the right people, or the right setup of people on the map doing different things, you could really turn the tide. Whereas in like a different game in more of the Perfect Dark style, really you're more about just guns blazing and it's more direct. But for these characters, a lot of them are very indirect, and Furia has this very indirect superpower where she floats, she flies for a little while, becomes completely invulnerable to damage. So she might draw some fire and away from her allies, which is really cool in the first place. But then the second that she goes back to being vulnerable and she drops, everybody on her team is wreathed in flame and does like all kinds of extra damage, and they're faster moving across the map and everything. So her thing is to make everybody stronger. Also, I didn't mention this, she's a damn good healer. She heals people quickly, can do it rapidly many times. And, should you choose to, you can highlight the option, among many options, you can have the option of turning on an ability to shield people. These little short-lived shields you can put on people that you're healing while they're healing and after they're healing. Very cool stuff. Very cool. Yeah. I just loved it. She uses her sword. She uses her gun. I mean, it's a double-barreled shotgun with a blade in between the barrels. I mean, that's what it is. Very dick and ballsy. But then again, what is she? Like a G? With like, her hips are like 5 feet apart. I mean, come on. This is pretty. It's what's the word for it? Thirsty. It's pretty thirsty material. But anywho, I loved that indirectness. She could do anything. A lot of these characters can't, but she can. Makoa, that turtle guy, he's a big shield guy. He can't heal people, but he can heal himself, maybe, if you choose the option. But more than anything, he can crawl around, and his shell becomes this gigantic shield, which people can weave in and out of and shoot through, but your enemies can't. And you get a few seconds of that. He can also bust people up with his anchor. Anyway, I'm geeking out too much. That was a very geeky episode. 1 minute 30 though. Hey, look at us. Who's better than us? So 3 episodes. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go cross-legged. I promise I won't be too video gamey in the future, but I just talk about my interests. This is a person bringing you this content while we're practicing running and building a foundation that we can build on when we choose to, and we will. You know, we just got to be people while we do it. I have other interests. I'm not just a runner, clearly. Yeah, I do take my pleasures. I take a lot of them and I take them frequently. So let's breathe. There's a pleasure. Yep. Oh yeah. Honorable mention to Maeve, the trench coat wearing cat burglar chick from that game. Oh, she's my babe. I love her too. She doesn't fly, but she's pretty much the most aerial character in that game. And she dual wields. And she has a melee attack, which is kind of rare in that game. And she's effective. Very effective. A lot of fun. Love you, Maeve. Anyway, we sang songs. We talked shop. We just... I don't even know what to say about the content that we produce on this show. It's a gas. It's been a pleasure. So have a great day. And I'm going to go eat. And, well, I'm not. I'm going to go work out and then eventually take a cold shower and then eventually eat. And it's going to be great. So talk to you all on the flip-flop. Have a good one. And if I fast, I'll let you know. And if I fast the whole night, I'll tell you how it went. We'll see. Anyway, mwah.